Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to Santa Switch Adapted Toys. This is Santa Jerry. We're going to do the Mickey Mouse, the Disney Junior Mickey projector lamp. And comes in this box here. You can get them from assorted locations, places. The has a couple of buttons on it, A and a B. We can see it there, and it has a USB port so that it does not need to be operated with batteries, but it also has a battery compartment so it can be portable operation. And these buttons, I'm going to push the B button and point it at the camera, and the B button, I'm going to push it once, light comes on, and it's hard to see it, but there's movement there. It's projecting a light and it's rotating. So it's going to shine on the ceiling a rotating light. Okay. The second time I push it, the light stays on, the projector stays on, but the rotator has stopped. So now it's not moving. And the third time I push the B button, it turns it off. No more light. The A button we'll have to punch it a few times to get different effects. And most of the effect is color. So now it lights up the outside shell. And it lights it up with let's see, and there's no movement on this one, but it lights up the outside shell. So it's kind of got a bluish tinge. That went a little, let's see. Yeah, I can't turn off the overhead light, but there's the third time we've pushed it, fourth time we've pushed it, fifth time we've pushed it, and there's still a little bit of light there, so it's not off. Sixth time, and the seventh time we pushed it, it's off. So let's go through that cycle again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be a simple switch that we're adaptive. So we're going to put an adapter on here for both A and B, and the user will be able to use their adaptive switch button and do the exact same functions that this does. So let's open this up. I've already opened it up once. I needed to kind of get an idea. There's 3 screws here that are deeply recessed on the outside edge. Let's see, it's that one there. I think I put 2 of them back in to hold it in place. I did. Okay. So there's 3 screws. We open it up, we got to be a little careful. We're opening this up, and there's a scramble of wires in here, and it's connected to both parts of the shell. The top part's got the motor, the lights, fixtures, and the like, and the bottom part has got your circuit board and the switches that we've been pushing, and then the battery compartment below that. So on this, I'm going to zoom down a bit so that I can I want to set this down so it's stationary. Otherwise, I'm moving it around and it keeps going out of focus. Okay, so on the circuit board, when we push the white buttons on the outside, we're activating these 2 switches right here. So the contacts for those switches are not visible on this side of the board, they're on the opposite side. To get to them, we're going to take the board out, and I haven't let go of the entire shell here because I don't want to stress the cables. So you want to be very careful when you do this. I'm going to set, we're going to collect that for hardware. So there's 2 screws, one on either side of the board, that hold it in place. So we'll pop those out of there into a parts holding container. A little cup to put them in. Got the other one now. So the first thing you can see, because of the stress of the wires, it pulled it apart. Another aspect of this, and zoom in I will, is the switch button, a plastic switch button. Okay, it is separate. It sets into the housing here, and you can see that it's contoured. It only goes in one way. Properly, it only goes in one way. The shape of it is such that the one that's got the little clip off the top of it goes on the right side. This is going to be B, and the fully round one is on the left side. It's A, but it's a loose piece. We don't want to mess with it or lose it while we're working, so we're going to set that out of the way. Now that we've got it out, and I'm going to turn it over. So here's our circuit board, and there's our circuit board. There's our 2 switches. I'm going to have trouble focusing on this because of too many things in the background. There's our 2 switches, and on the bottom of that circuit board there's 3 contact points for each one of those switches. So this is switch B, and it's got 3 contact points, and switch A's got 3 contact points. The one closest to the edge, up here, is, I think that was, I'm going to call that common. And the other 2 are active. So I'm going to turn off this light. I can't do that and still have you see anything here. Using a flat screwdriver or a metal object, I'm going to turn on, I'm going to press 2 contacts on the right side. Okay, so the light came on. It's back off. I'm too close to it for anyone to see the fact that the light came on. Let's do this again. Okay, the screwdriver is going to be wider and it's going to be easier. So using a metal object, I'm crossing 2 wires because we want to see the light come on. Okay, so I'm crossing the pin. There's 2 pins here I'm crossing, and you can see that being able to do that is activating the switch, activating the controls on here. That's the ones we're going to work on. Over here it's, I can do the same thing. I'm trying to determine which wires, which connection points I'm going to hook the wires to. And so now I know which ones they are. I'll bring it up. Let's zoom in. I know that, I'm sorry, I had that out of focus, but out of frame. But let's see if this helps. Okay, so you can't see the action now because I'm zoomed in on the circuit board. Of these 3 contact points on this switch, right? The ones we're going to attach our wires to are the middle one up here, which is at the top, and this one over here. Because when I short those out with a screwdriver, the lights come on. That's what activates. On this switch, it's the one at the top and the one on the right. Okay, and when I short those out with the screwdriver, the light comes on. So that's where we're going to hook our cables in order to make this a switch adapted toy. Zoom back out. I'm going to run that again. So on the circuit board, we have got these 3 contact points. We're not going to use the outside one. We're going to use these 2 because those 2 activate the light. Okay? Not using this one, we're using these 2. We're not using the outside one over here because it doesn't do anything, but the inside 2 activate the light. So that's what we're going to adapt to. So I'm going to drill holes, couple holes down here. There is a lot of room inside this case down here at the bottom of it for our cables to be. Turn some lights on here so I can see what I'm doing better. And so we're going to enter the case with our cables here below the switch, below the switches and close to the battery. Let's see, let's go to the right. Okay, that's going to be 1. Okay, there's 2. There are cables in there. Okay. And ultimately, when this is all said and done, this is going to be really close, but I still need to be able to work on it and test it. So I'm going to leave a little bit of distance on these cables, just make sure when I put it back together that I don't pinch anything. Actually, I take that back. I don't need to leave anything because I've got all kinds of room on the cables. I'll just pull when I pull the cable back in, it'll tighten up. Okay. So let's get the power on let's get my 3rd hand in here. I'm going to zoom out. It's kind of a black hole, really. It's, again, we got to be very cautious with all these white wires. We're going to solder to the inside ones on the left side. Actually, I want that wire to go out. Let's see. No, I don't. I want it to go in. Otherwise, I might have a little problem when I put the circuit board back on. Okay. Let's hook up a switch. Oh, perfect. Fully functioning. That's good for that one. Let's get the other one hooked up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the black wire up on the upper extreme. Put the red wire down here on the lower one. So I want that. It was a good connection, but And let's plug over here. Let's see, let's turn off the lights. Okay, let's find out what I've got. I've got, off camera, I've got a couple of switches mounted to the table. And this might be the better way of testing this, so. Turn off this overhead light. Let's turn off all the overhead lights, off camera, switches. Okay. Both of those are now switch adapted and they work just fine. So there is off, completely off. We have one motion, 2, 3, 4. This is button A. Button A is now turned off. This is button B. And button B runs through 3 cycles. Okay, button B is turned off. So that's the toy. All fixed up and ready to go, adapted. We just need to put it back together. Okay? So just connect the cables, the switches, pull these cables out of their hole, gently support that off to the side. Let's get this white button back in there. Okay, and managing our cables that we've installed. Set these back up, being careful. Yeah, let's see, I've got this thing. Oops, I dropped that out of there. Okay, so I pushed on it. Let's see, almost set. Got my 2 screw holes lined up. And back together with this. Can let go of this for the moment. And that's it. So let's run. Again, we gotta be careful. There's wires that are in here. Could be pinched, but it looks like it's okay. We've got that. We're gonna drop a couple of screws down in to hold this thing shut. And we'll do another test with all the lights to verify that the adaptation worked okay. 1. Tightened up there. Tightened up there. Okay. So let's hook up our adaptive switches. Again, I think those are off camera because I've got them on the edge of the table. I'm going to turn off all the lights and okay. Both buttons work. So now it's in a completely off state. The adaptive switch is going to turn on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. You have to punch it 7 times to go through the entire cycle. On the other switch, and that was on A. On B, you turn it on Okay. I went through the cycle and turned it off. So you turn it on, then the light comes on, and the motor starts rotating. And this is to shine a beam of light and stars on your ceiling. I can see them, but I'm not going to point the camera up. Okay. The next one stops the motion, and it holds the light on the ceiling in a stationary manner. I'm looking up and I realize it's Mickey Mouse on the ceiling. Cool. I thought it was going to be stars. It's Mickey Mouse. Okay. The next turns off the system completely. So this one is adapted, and that's how relatively easy it is, because they again made some really good contact points for hooking up the wires to. So this, you might find these, they might be something out there that's not Disney. But if you want something like this, open it up and find the same components inside, then that'd be wonderful. You can adapt it. So thanks for watching Santa Switch Adapted Toys. Until next time, there we go. If you subscribe, you'll see these videos as quick as I post them. If you like, that would be appreciated, because it shows support and that encourages me to continue making videos. So thank you, everybody. And there's the Mickey projection lamp.